and SPX. And then at the end, we'll throw in a couple of tickers. I'll show you a few more things today, just to kind of add on to your typical session profile that we do in 30 minutes. So as you guys know, we typically do this, right, on we use our session profile in 30 minutes, and then we identify the key levels using volume profile, and those are your kind of trading levels, right? So we know there's like a POC here, but then what I also do, and we haven't covered it much, is especially when you have the fixed range in TradingView, is finding month to date, year to date, and then also finding like weekly POCs. And that you can do by going fixed range, going to here, and then kind of just selecting, right? So June 13th was the beginning of the week last week. So if you guys look here, so that was the Monday, right? So if you go here and you find that guy, which is here, and then you drag it to the end right now, that's going to be your volume profile for the week. And you guys see that, what shape was this?
D shape.
Yep, that's a D-shaped volume profile. So, and we are right at 50% right now. And then the value area high, the little blue line that you guys are seeing here. And you can change these settings as you wish. Let's see, value area high. You can make this kind of like orangish. Let's call it orange. And the value area down, we can make it purple or whatever here. So you can kind of distinguish this line here. So the top orange is the value area high. You can expect a rejection there. And you guys see at that POC that we identified from before that there is a little bit of volume there, right, in that area. So we'll pay attention to that. And then another thing that I do usually, so if you go on 4 hours, right, then you just look at the chart. What did I do? So if you just look at the chart, I'll remove the fibs for a moment. We know we had a strong supply zone, kind of like right here, right? So we'll keep note of that one. So this is a pretty strong supply, right? And that's probably going all the way up to here. So we want to keep note of that, and I'll show you why. So now if you go into your grab that fixed range again. We're going to go June 1st. Okay. Now we have a little bit of a different picture. Do you guys see this? So this is our weekly. This is our month to date. And then last one that you can do. And it kind of gives you the pictures and the ranges, right? If you do the year to date, you'll know the yearly POC, which is a fairly big deal. So let's see, this is December, January 3rd. To here. And we're coming up there. And what happens to be at the value area low of the yearly?
That other POC?
There's not a POC on the bottom.
What's the red line right below it?
This is POC, but that's not the level that we care about. This is your yearly POC right here. So this would be your year-to-date POC on NQs. Here, for instance, this right here is your year-to-date VAL. This is the one that's going to be in play here quickly, right? So I'm pretty sure we're going to be going for this fairly soon here for a retest. So let's just take a look at this real quick. So you guys see now why that level was fairly important from earlier when we talked about it? where we highlighted this becomes kind of like your supply zone, probably a little bit smaller than what we highlighted, but that's why even when you get the correlation of confluence of points, this is your year-to-date value area low that's lining up perfectly, and stocks tend to use that as a magnet, especially when it's it's 6-7 months worth of data that you have in there. So we got to keep an eye on that. Then our typical here, we're just gonna draw our little trend lines inside here. Okay. This is our weekly POC here. And you guys see what we are hitting right now, like right at the moment? You guys see what we are hitting? You guys see this blue line?
Yeah.
It's the weekly, basically, VAH, your value area highs right here, what we are hitting right now. And if you look close enough, I'm just going to kind of zoom in. How many times have we tapped this area here? You see this, boom, didn't like it. We broke this, and then remember, you don't buy usually the breakouts. You want to buy the retest of that. And look, if you bought it here, it drove it all the way up, and then it hit that trend line and kind of busted through it. Now, this is the first tap back since it's been gone. Usually, those are nice rejections, and if you just shorted it just moments ago, at 8:45, it was 11:40.57, so you could have made 30 points on NQ just moments ago. If you don't know how many 30 points is on NQ, it's a lot of money. And it's just basic rules that you short those revisits, right? So all right, so we'll just hide this guy. We'll mark this level. Let's start weekly. See. Okay, so any questions on this so far? So this, you guys see the correlation here? It's really, really strong correlation. It's our year-to-date VAL and a weekly VAH. So if we are able to reclaim this, kind of let's say 11.5, and come back here, man, this is going to be pretty good to go higher. Once we break this here, do you guys see much in between? Really not much stopping you to go all the way to this POC, which should be year-to-date. I'll probably mark the year-to-date POC. Yeah, year-to-date POC there. Oh, this is month, sorry. All right, so this looks fairly good so far. Delete this guy. We grabbed the levels off of it. Pretty doubtful that we go for this retest soon, but let's see. Any questions on these? How you can kind of get them? That it makes sense for everyone? So what I usually care about is weekly, monthly, and year to date. And sometimes you can do quarterly if there's not many levels that are lining up. You can definitely do quarterly, and then you would see some correlations, right, pop up. Then we'll go to our 30 minutes, make sure what we got here lines up. Look at our session profiles. So we got a P shape, B shape, B shape, D shape. And this is today's POC. Okay, and you guys see here, this weekly vol lines up with what? So June 15th POC. And what do you guys notice that's different now, the way we are going up versus when we were going up here? Is there any difference the way we were going up here versus there?
It's P in the uptrend, B in the downtrend.
I'm not sure I'm following. Yep, it's more compressed. This is a lot tighter. We are retesting the previous day POCs. Here, this was more as a short squeeze. You know, we had that P shape or B shape here, I'm sorry. This profile here, and then followed by P shape. And once you broke this, the short squeeze started. Now they're being a little bit more cautious. They're building a base here, which if they do break this level over here, 11.5, this can really, really trigger. So we're watching for the break of this to go long. This is, you know, kind of big level. If you want to go long here, you can definitely do that. You can get 50 points there in between. But this is a key level. This is a really, really big level here. Okay, and then we would probably short it here below 11,345. That would give us the best reward. Or, you know, if you extend this here, make this one dashed. If we are able to break this maybe here, you can definitely short it, but I do suggest maybe getting a little bit of confluence over that higher low, short it right below it. You can use the weekly POC break. So it would be kind of go here. And I would definitely short below that, and then this would be your exit here. Okay, so that's thank you. Any questions on this? Okay, go to ES. Well, I think for ES, let's see. Redo it real quick. You guys see where we're headed? Probably to this POC here, which is June 13th POC. Skinny belly should play out here up to here. That is really, really compressed here though. So this here is pretty much a monthly VPOC. We never came back to retest it. So this becomes very, very strong magnet for, going up. And then we'll mark this level here. We'll just adjust it. And this will be January 9th POC. So we know. But we'll grab it off of the 30 minutes time frame. Because here you have a pretty nice little supply area. Okay, so this is our year-to-date POC. And some of these levels you don't want to redraw every time. So here's your year-to-date. So what would you guys expect to happen right here? So we have a monthly VPOC, which is going to be a huge magnet, and then you have a year-to-date value area low. It's going to be acting as a retest, and then if you do some fibs, look what's lining up also there. You'll probably get that retest there, and it might be the start of the next leg down potentially. Yeah, I think we covered it with monthly, weekly, and then we got. Check this guy. Said June 9th. Oh, that wasn't that bad. Pretty close. So we've had a lot of trouble with this level. You guys see it, 37.13. I'm just looking kind of price action wise. You guys see this level here? We had a rejection, 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 rejection. Then it came here. So if we lose this right here, this 3700, man, we're gonna drop real quick to about 36.74. But I'm pretty sure we might hold this here. All right, check 4 hours, man. So what does this look like to you guys?
Double bottom.
Definitely double bottom. So you had one here. Sorry, one here. We'll delete that one. With the neckline being right here. So this would be your neckline here. Right. So this is really, really important. If we can hold this level here, 37.13, that's important. And when I look at the 4 hours, it just does not look the best so far. And I think that candle just started on 4 hours.
I don't need it.
No, mute, please.
I got my vaccines already.
Four hours. Let's see. We have 12 minutes left in this 4 hours, and it's not the best candle to have right now. So let's see how it plays out. If you wanted to take a long, I mean, honestly, you could take the long of 37.30 here. If it breaks that, otherwise wait for 37.40 to break. Then most likely we would get the retest of 3800. You can check to make sure that we didn't miss any key levels. So yeah,
That's SPX, right?
This is ES.
Oh, sorry.
This is our ES. So that's our VAL right here from a few days back. $37.98. These would be the levels that you want to play. We want to short it below 3,700. You would play 36.74. Once that breaks, and then if we lose this, then we go to weekly value area low, which would be a really good retest there to get some maybe calls and switch. But let's see, how we play out overnight. We don't know what they're going to do. Buy. Okay, so I think I charted it the same way here. So let's see. I have the self-support pre-COVID value area low, go long 390 or rejection. So that's my, big boy level there. Here, year to date. So this is a nice supply. And now we just, if you guys look, we had that flag there. That needs to be retested. So this is a epoch here. And for those new on the call, epoch compared to POC, and if you're not familiar with what POC is, I suggest you watch some of the videos on volume profile. Just kind of catch up. But this is your most traded volume at this price level, and especially when it's untested, meaning the price never came back to it, it means a lot more in terms of trading than it does if it's just a regular POC.
Are you up in the 406-ish, the POC? The POC?
406-ish? What do you mean? Sorry.
The VPOC that you just talked about right there?
Yeah, it's 378. This one is 378.
Oh yeah, I got that.
So if you're able to break 370, there's a chance that you get 4 points up easy. And then we have this bear flag, and then we got all the levels below identified here. And I'll post these charts for you guys. But we have a nice break here. If we break 364, then we get 358. This is pretty big support here on this shelf here. Let me see if I have it up. Let's see. Not here. I did a pre-COVID one, which was, let me see where it was pre-COVID. Right here. So what I did, I grabbed this fixed range, and then I basically grabbed from here to the latest one, which would be here, and then it'll spit out this nice shelf or nice volume profile that you can use. So here you see how important this is pre-COVID VAL. It's right on. Then you have this kind of support shelf here. You have a lot of these little in between, right? So it's a lot of choppiness, but you see here, there was a nice skinny belly. And then if it breaks this level here, almost looks like a skinny belly all the way up to here. Do you guys see that? Almost feels like it could go back to 340. So this area here has a little stop here. That's why I put that support that it could go there, which is the 351, and that the majority of it would be at 350 here. If you guys look at this, kind of the peak of the volume. But this, probably not a bad level to get out if it does happen here. Okay, so that's that. Let's see if we got anything in 65 minutes. Ooh. All right. So IDs. Yeah, so we're fairly indecisive here. 68%. Macari, we want to use 68% on VAL, VH. That's your value area, is 68%. And who knows why 68%? Anyone know why 68? We covered it, and it was in the class.
Is it a 2% deviation?
No, it's the first standard deviation. You guys want to remember that. You do not want to forget that lesson, though. So if you guys remember this, right here. Remember this now. Your first standard deviation is here. 68% of the volume is traded between -1 and 1. This is 68% right here. That's why we use 68%. This is the reason. Then you have the second standard deviation, then you have the third one. And if you guys remember, I had some scripts that found these deviation levels for me in Thinkorswim, and I was able to chart them as well. So that's why we do that. And here, does anyone know what percentage comes here in a second?
Is it 95?
That's correct, 95%. So it's good to know this, guys. Your standard deviation here, mathematically, this is super, super important. And that's why, you know, when I look at the higher time frames, I'm looking at, you know, I went as far as year-to-date VAL. So it's telling me the year-to-date 68% on the value area low is at 408. So they rejected the value area low. Imagine somebody telling you, we think the low, it's the value of your asset is low, but we want it lower. Well, I mean, is 50 points lower much going to make a dent? Probably not. You know, you probably have to go a little bit somewhere around here, 333s, 290s to catch some support. But we'll watch it. There's a nice bear flag here, and I don't know what this line is here, but what the hell is this? So we'll watch this on SPY. Let's see if we're missing any critical levels using our dailies. So this would just be a recent low here. So that'll be your good profit target. And if we break this, then you know which levels you got to target. Any questions on this? All right, perfect. Qs. Oh, wow. I had a lot charged on this one. Okay, I'm going to ask the same question here. What does this look like? What pattern does this look like to be? The black lines, this one and that one.
Downtrend.
The what?
Downtrend.
Okay, it is downtrend, but there's a certain pattern that it looks like. Anyone know what?
Is that like a megaphone?
It is. It's setting up the megaphone here. So if we do get some sort of bounce here, it would be great, right? I mean, ideally 61.8 would be a nice support. I deleted it now, but we'll just kind of get into these lines here, see what we got. So if you look at 30 minutes, we have a nice little channel down as well. And then here, does anyone know what this line here is? Let me change the color so I can call them out. This red line, what do you guys think? Why did I draw the red line here?
Your trend line.
Okay, but yeah, does anyone else see anything else? Here, I'll make it easier. What about now?
Head and shoulders.
Head and shoulders.
Yeah.
So now what we're waiting for is we're waiting for these bulls to disappear. So if you think about it, you know, you have this perfect head and shoulders forming that maybe it goes up to here and then it creates that shoulder, which to me it looks like a perfect head and shoulder. And then we can check to see, you know, how far would this guy go here. And, you know, if I'm looking at this, POC lines up here. So it could be right up to here that we get at 277 and then that we go down. But it's rejecting the 61.8 right now perfectly here. If you guys look, you guys see that POC and 61.8 lined up perfectly. And then our target would be about 264. So let's see how we play this out. And then 30 minutes, if you guys look here, almost want to draw it differently here. Be kind of like this. I'm going to delete this. I just want to make sure everybody saw it because it's more art than science, right? Trading. So you got to be able to notice this. And you guys know by now that this was called what?
Validation.
It was
Distribution.
Distribution, which was also due to the buyers what?
I'm gonna say the initiative buyers.
No, initiative buyers would have taken this higher.
Okay.
Indecision.
Okay, good guess.
Buyer's exhaustion.
Buyer's exhaustion. Do you guys remember the iceberg
Yes.
order
Yes.
or a master order that I drew boxes for you guys? So
Yep.
what happened here is that there was a huge order. There was an order that's this big. So if they had an order that was this big, they can't sell it all at once here. So what they did is every time the buyers tried to buy it at the ask, or they slammed them back down with the big order, and then this box just went up this big. Then another time buyers are trying to go, and they didn't have enough buyers to break the iceberg orders, they're called. And then this just kept shrinking, and then eventually what happened here? The supply was overwhelmingly too much for the buyers, and then they just crushed them. So basically, on the bid, what happened here? I want to make sure you guys understand this.
Is that what you explain? Where they chopped it down to small orders?
Exactly. They chopped this in small orders. So every time there was, let's say there was 500 bids at 274.96, what they would do is they would just fill that, right? They would allow that. They would basically let it go, and then they would just fill all of those orders. And then there was no big orders. It was much easier to flush it back down. So that's called iceberg orders, right? Or master orders. That's what happens here. Right? So buyers were exhausted because the seller just kept coming in with the big orders and kind of depleting them. So they had really no power and playing the game with them. So hence we are where we are. Okay, hopefully that everybody gets that. And if you don't, there's a book called Wyckoff 2.0 that explains it pretty good. Okay, so let's see, we covered this. Let me just make sure that we don't have any surprises on the intraday stuff. Okay, so I mean, our short level is right here. This is pretty much our short level. Short here. If we break that, then this is our previous low here. They're gonna slide through this, so irrelevant. This here, we said it was our go long level. We're gonna delete that guy. Make sure that we capture this guy. What is this called? Cuban, what is this called?
Is that your first profit target?
Yes, but why? Why is that our first profit target?
Value area low.
Value area low. So there's potentially that, some buyers that took the price from here. So the value area high is basically where the blue colors ends for me. That's how I have it set up. So this is your value area high here. So what that means, what does that actually mean? Who can explain value areas based on the PowerPoint? You're explaining to your son. What do you tell him? Guys, don't make me start putting quizzes up. Come on.
Inside is where most of the trading happened that day.
That's exactly, we just covered it, guys. I just explained to you, so something's not right. Let's go back to this. Let's go quickly to it. So we know this, volume profile types, the fixed range, we covered it, where you can pick any dates. Point of control, right? This is your point of control. This is where highest volume is traded. At that price, there's a lot of volume traded. What we typically do around it is we grab a symmetry of volume. So we will grab this and make it a demand zone. Not a single level is your level for entry. You create zones so that way you're not played out too much. Then you have the value area high and value area low. In between is called value area, which is your one standard deviation. 68% of the volume happened here. That means when the price is on the bottom of value area low, who's buying here? If there's a reaction here, who's buying at the value area low? What's the name of the people that buy?
Responsive buyers.
Responsive buyers. Who's selling on the top right here on value area highs?
Responsive sellers.
Okay, who takes it above value area high? Right here, who took this?
Initiative buyers.
Initiative buyers. And now, if it broke the value area low, who would have taken it down?
Initiative seller.
All right, good. So does everybody on this call now understand the value area, what it is? It's the area between value area high and value area low, which is one standard deviation of your volume. And people are happy. If it trades in here, that means people are happy with this stock price and they're going to trade in the range. The one time when it breaks the range, like you see here, and for in this case, it was a trap because they brought it quickly back inside and then they rejected twice, double top, and then they went down to the POC. So the area was not accepted by the buyers. They brought it back down. There was something, either news or whatever happened, they brought it back inside the area, said, no, that's too high. We don't accept the area. There's a high chance that this area will be retested here at some point because there was an imbalance created, right? You guys see that there was almost from here, if you guys look, that means somebody here sold and maybe they didn't sell enough. So they usually come back to that area, right? And then that's where you look for volume clusters.
So in between the high and the low, there's 68%, you said?
Right here. So remember, if you flip this on the side, that's what value area is. This would be your value area high. This would be your value area low. You don't really care about the 95% of the volume because it doesn't mean much.
Right.
Okay, so does everybody understand value area now? I literally want everybody to say yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Quick question about that.
Yeah.
On your value area, is that kind of where you came up with that concept, or not you came up, but where you talk about if it comes back through or either top or bottom of value area, you get that 80% move through
correct.
it.
So usually when the value area is not explored and it dips to the bottom, there's probably about 80 to 90% chance that it's going to go to the opposite side to explore it. So what I mean by that is if this area was not explored at all, like it wasn't here, you guys see this area, value area low was not explored. We dipped below it, which is one of the rules, right? We go below it, then we reclaim it. Then there's a high chance, I think it's about 80 to 90% chance that you're going to go back to value area high. And look here. If you got in here and you put low of the day as your stop loss, you would have nailed the trade. You would have went to the value area high. So that's what that means. And then same thing for value area high. You went in, you dipped inside, you came back. There's a high chance you're going to go to value area low. And look, that move happened. So if you haven't gone through this, guys, please go through it and take notes and ask questions. Like I had somebody ask me, why is my video 5 hours long? My question to him was, did you watch Ozark? She's like, yeah, man, I watched it in 3 days. I told him literally, go fuck yourself. Don't waste my time. If you can devote your time on 3 days of Ozarks and you can't watch something that can change your life for 5 hours, then you don't deserve me or my time or anyone's time. You just continue watching Netflix. And this applies same to all. If you guys want to change something, it doesn't change by hopes. Remember, you get lucky by working harder. So luck is earned. You do not just get lucky overnight and you nail all the trades. You learn, you take notes, you repeat, and then you become successful. Then it becomes almost like a muscle memory when you take trades. So please go through the PowerPoint. Not saying that you guys didn't. Maybe I did a bad job of explaining, but this is your value area here. And this is important, especially when we do like weekly VAH or VAL, when you do monthly or year to date. Those are big levels, right? If you see, the yearly VAH is far from price and VAL is far from price, like in between, it's irrelevant to your day-to-day trading. But if you're approaching year-to-date VAL with the price and we're like 10 points away, it's definitely going to act as a magnet and it's going to pull the price back down to it. Just think about it. There's people there that are going to find value and drive the price higher. Remember, supply and demand. It's simple. We buy at demand, we sell at the supply. Okay? All right. Now that we cover this, hopefully everybody understands it. Okay. So that's why the value area low is important, because it's statistical and it's been proven. If you read any books, it's pretty much talked about. Any trader, any book writer that had it, they use volume profile, they're going to talk about value areas. So this would be here, POC. Just a weird profile shape here. So if it breaks 273, that has probably the best reward here. So if you're short here, and you put your stop loss slightly above this guy, and you put this as your first target, you guys see the reward here? Even if you put it right here, do you guys see this trade? Be realistic here. Do you guys see that? So if you get in at 273 and give it to 274.93, I would probably say 275.05-ish, just to be. Hold on, I think I'm moving the whole thing. Something like this. This is a really, really good trade, guys. And it'd probably go to this level here if it was going to go anywhere. So 270 would stop. Where is it? So somewhere around here, just put that it will stop. It's a really, really good trade if we can get this. Okay. So any questions on Qs? So SPY Qs, NQ, ES covered. See just how ES is doing. So if you guys even look here, if you look at 10 minutes, it's still kind of ranging here. You guys see the volume that it created here? So there's a really, really nice volume being created here right now. So let's see. So our value area is right here. You guys see it so far? So that means that we found buyers to take it higher, initiative buyers. And now you're watching to see if these buyers are going to continue higher, or are they going to bring it back to 3713, or slightly below right here. I meant to draw a line. Sorry, not arrow. Like 3711-ish. So I'm not going to draw that line. I'll actually keep my other one. So in that area right here, if they're going to bring it, and if we're going to bounce from there, or if they're going to reject it. It did create a nice trend line here as well. So let's see how choppy they make this. It looks like it will be. And that would be a nice retest here, guys. That would be the double bottom retest here. Okay. What else we got? What else you guys want to look at?
Apple, please.
Let me just finish this guy here. All right, let's take a look at Apple. So, potential reversal candle here on the weekly. Days, really good candle here on 3 days. So, this would be my go long level of a price action, which happens to be previous day POC here. Then we are still bear flagging here. So I would definitely go 133. And then once we look at 30 minutes, we'll be able to tell.
Go long at 133.
I'm sorry?
You say long at 133?
Oh, wait. Yep, on retest, not.
Okay.
And you have up here to take your profits. First trend line here if you want to get out. So otherwise, you need this break right here. Should be your lower high. It's most likely going to reject here. So the best reward would be if it breaks 134.08 and go along to 137.94. If you go at 133, you have a dollar move that you want to be careful because it has a VPOC right there. And then in between there, you see that there's a value area low at 133.61 that lines up perfectly with this POC right here. So you have a little confluence here right on the level. So for me, you know, if I was to go long, probably would not go long here. I would wait for 134.08 to break. So you can go for 50 cents, but I just don't like that reward. No. But otherwise, I mean, if you guys look, still looks pretty bearish here. So you have a nice little bear flag. And if we decide to go, then you have some levels here to play with. And then it was shorted below here, 130.99. We'll definitely go short here. Maybe a little bit below. I'm trying to get this low. And this would be your first target here. Area here. Yeah, so they're not able to break this value at twice, 132 level. Then you appeal. I mean, it's so congested here. You could, yeah. I would definitely wait for that 134 to clear. Clear, come back, and then go to 138. Okay. Get a lot of requests for
Thanks.
Meta. I guess that's Facebook now. It looks good, guys. Oh, definitely sarcastic. Yeah, the monthly candle still has more to go. This is probably where we're going to get a nice bounce on Meta here. You guys see what happened on previous? I had a double tap and I had a rejection here. This should be not a bad level to buy some swings on this level. And then obviously if you want to be careful how far you buy them, you have a little shelf here. So you could buy like $15 and then it has a nice little cluster here. So you could probably go to 180. If this comes here, there would be enough buyers to drive this to 180 on the monthly. But does anyone see any interesting pattern here on the weekly?
Could that be a heading towards for me?
If I was to look at this, like right here, probably get a bounce here, and then we might get another shoulder. And then if we decide to drop, I mean, this could revisit some levels that you guys probably don't want to believe, but yeah. Yeah, this probably go to 50s, 40s if this breaks. If this breaks, they're going to go to 100 easy. So it'll be this level here that they target. And then, I mean, just turn on your visible range for this guy here. So there's this would be your level here, 120, 42. Yeah, you're right, Richie. So 120 on a dot. So you have that. And then you would have a little bit of support here, 84. And then it would be a toast. I'd be a buyer at about 120. I would buy this at 120s. Probably not bad to look at some swings on this soon. It's lining up. I would want it at 153, but that'd be great. Trap these shorts here. I think of head and shoulders, and then we go down. We go up and bounce. Play this one, shoulder up. See, 3 days. Yeah, so we most likely will retest 180 fairly quickly here. No, you guys, I don't look at flow that much. Was the flow bullish or? And what are they hitting? 180s? Like what strikes are they hitting? Whoever knows the magic with trade dedics, just Fine, that's what they're hitting. I mean, there's a ton of epochs here. I don't like trading Facebook, but I do think they have to shift their technology fairly soon here to keep the millennials and X Gen and Y Gen entertained. Otherwise, it won't be good for them. So I had a nice double bottom. You guys see that we came back for a retest right there. We retested it. So if we're able to break 162, excuse me, if we break 162, there's a strong chance right here that we can short this. I was shorted right here, whatever the 162.85-ish. Shorted below it, then you would have all the way to 161. So not bad, couple of points. Okay, Tesla, yeah, I need to chart Tesla. I mean, this is pretty tight here for 5 minutes. That would be my entry for shorting. Maybe just like something like this, being 640. It would be really nice below 620. So 644, then you have, what is this here? I don't even know what we have, 633.85. Yeah, 637, but I think we would revisit the lows here. And then if you guys look at 15 minutes, I mean, it could have a violent opening here. Okay. Does that make sense? Short, I would still consider long over 670, but that's just me playing. You could play this here. If it breaks, it could go all the way to 670 here. So, well, yeah, so it's not a bad level. Like if we get it here, short here, get out 620 and then roll it down something else. Probably revisit. The bottom here, 626, and if you break that, then I'll have to get a little creative on finding the levels. So it'd be 600 and so on. And I would look at the clouds for the rest. But does anyone see any particular setup here that's forming right now? Like, let's say on 65 minutes? Anything else here forming? What about now?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, we got an inverted cup and handle here, so you know this level here might trigger a pretty decent sell-off, guys. So if you think about it, about 23% on Tesla from here.
That's like 400 or 500, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd be right at my level for buying. My level is 450, so I'm not gonna buy it if it doesn't get there. Okay, well, you're not gonna get it that close. So somewhere around here, 500, yeah. That would be the target on Tesla. You guys see this? If you break the 650s here, you guys see that right now? Look what it lines up with. 450, baby, right here. That's where I would want it. Previous breakout that was never retested. That would be great. Literally nothing stopping it here. Once it breaks the 620, all the way to 460s. Okay. NVIDIA, it's been really tight lately. Let's see. I think KSN, it was you that said it when I told you that NVIDIA is going to go to 150s, that I'll be a buyer. I think it was you that said it. I think you said, I don't know if NVIDIA will ever go that low. But maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was somebody else. But I remember somebody saying NVIDIA won't go that low. Well, you're right there. And she looks promising for this disaster here. Yeah, she's prepping for a fairly large move here. Hopefully everybody sees this one here. So it could go like this. That we actually, never really got the shoulder to play out here. But then if that's the case, then we got a cup and handle here. So if you guys look here, it'd be a nice inverted cup and handle then playing. Or you could still say here, head and shoulders. So either way, I think if this trend line breaks here, this is in trouble. How crazy would that be? About $110 for NVIDIA. That'd be a pretty good deal. I'll definitely watch this tomorrow. All right, guys. Anything else from anyone?
Thanks, Shorty. This has been great.
All right, guys. Well,
Thank you, Shorty.
no attending triangles anywhere.
All
All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I'll be live.
right, man. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.